Guys, I don't want to be a news channel because I don't do news. It's not really my thing. But I want to talk about protection under the law and who deserves it, okay? We live in the United States of America where gays are protected, women are protected, certain religions are protected, okay? But there is only one group of people that I'm feeling that are not being protected under the law, and that is men, okay? And I want to talk about Cardi B and her being indicted for this strip club brawl that supposedly went on last year, and there's some bottles being thrown and things like that. She's being brought on at least a few charges. Now, she may not do any time based on this, but it's interesting that the law is interested in this incident. An incident where you're innocent until proven guilty. But let's rewind back to a few years ago where Cardi B got on television. I'm sorry, not television. It was on Instagram. Cardi B talks about times where she was stripping and she used to rob men. Now listen to this. Rob them and sometimes drug them, okay? Irrespective of their health, no regards for their livelihood, all for her personal gain. Something that I find is incredibly despicable. But at the same time, the law, who should protect all entities of its population, fails to protect a group of society that helps build the nation, men, the workforce. Now, I find this to be quite interesting, in my opinion. This is funny. Because a person can admit doing all of these things and the law not care. But let's talk about another situation. Imagine you're watching somebody on Instagram that is a man. Let's reverse the roles. A man says, hey, I used to be a stripper, a male stripper, and I used to take women home and I would drug them and stuff like that, and take advantage of them. Now imagine a man says this, okay? He says that I used to do this and that. In this context of these statements, what happens to him? Is he allowed the same freedom that Cardi B has been allowed to go free, to continue on with life as if nothing happened? No. I beg to differ. That man is brought before public opinion, not even court, because they're going to crucify you publicly. Public opinion is going to crucify him. All the major networks are going to call for a boycott of his products or his services where he works. He's immediately fired. Doesn't matter that what he did was 10 years ago or 5 years ago. He is immediately going to be portrayed as an animal. And after the public has fried him, the public will put pressure on the state district attorney's office. And the prosecution will go out and open up a case to seek witnesses. Very similar to what happened with R. Kelly. We saw what happened with R. Kelly. R. Kelly had that documentary done. My Life, I believe, the Life Network, Surviving R. Kelly. This put immense pressure on prosecutors in Illinois, Chicago, to open up more of a can of worms on R. Kelly. Now, some people could say this was hearsay or whatever you want to call it. I'm not here to judge that. I'm not here to judge R. Kelly or to say he's innocent or not. I don't know, right? Probably he does deserve some of these things that's happening to him, right? But what I'm talking about here is that there is no way that a man could sustain such the same thing. It's not happening. And what this shows me is that the law is only concerned about violence when women do it to one another. And I want to talk about this. Cardi B supposedly in this strip club fight because there was a lady that supposedly was messing with her husband Offset and she was injured. So the law steps in. The law protects women if they hurt women. The law may or may not protect children if their mothers do certain things to them. But for certain, what the law is telling us is we do not care about men. We do, however, care if men commit any type of treacherous acts against women or acts of bodily harm against women. This is what the law protects, but not the other way around. And then you look at the growing, almost the logistically intensification of this curve of these men groups. These groups who consider themselves to be like MGTOW or incel, groups that are considered to be hate groups against women. And then you look at the current laws as they are in what some women are able to get away with, and they would be able to point to this as to why they are a part of these things. And see, the law has the opportunity to stop certain groups from forming. If the law did one thing, if the law worked. In the case of men's rights and protecting men, as the law works, protecting women. I'm going to say that again. You would have less groups like MGTOW, less disgruntled groups like incels, and I'm not just here to say that MGTOW is a very much a disgruntled group, but I'm saying that some factions of it could be considered that, but you would not have people that enter the black pill societies or certain parts of the red pill that are a little bit more forthcoming about how they feel about women. These people would not exist if the law worked against or worked in the behalf of men. They don't. There's an inequality of the law. So when there is an inequality of the law in any nation, disparity between sexes is permissible. At least to some people, as they convey it among themselves. Okay, well, it is permissible for me to feel like this because the law doesn't work in my behalf. So people start to have a distrust of society. And when you have a distrust of society, then you will have a break in society, which is one of the reasons why you see marriage is on the decline. Families are on the decline. Because what should work in a democracy does not. And people like Cardi B get to go free. Now, here's the situation. If you're going to be fair and you're going to try Cardi B for whatever she did at this strip club, which is she is innocent until proven guilty, but you can bring charges on that. You must also bring charges upon her based off of her own admission of what she did to men. You should go and you should seek witnesses who have been affected by her terror. You should do the same for those men who have been possibly could have had their lives changed. Now I know you're probably saying, oh, well, all they did is just drug them and she got robbed, no big deal. Well, if this happens to women, we would feel more sympathetic to them. They will talk about how their lives have been changed. So this is what the law has to start to get right. Equality under the law with regards to men. Men must be safe. To drug a man and to rob him, he can go into seizure, he can die, he can go into a stroke. All of these things can happen with these chemicals that she was using. And equality under the law is necessary to protect all United States citizens who pay taxes in this country. And if you're not going to do that, don't cry about the groups that grow out of disdain in the sectors of men's rights. And that's all I got to say. So, guys, what do you think? Leave me your comments on this. Thank you for the new subscribers that I have. Hit the bell, subscribe to the channel. Guys, what do you think about this? Let me know. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. I'm out.